Welcome back to the channel. Racer X here, and today I've got a little bit of Dodge news for you guys. It is on the 2024 Dodge Charger Daytona Banshee. Now, many of you are with me when I brought it to you live, the unveiling of that car at Speedweek in August of last year. And then, of course, we saw that car appear again at SEMA in like November of last year. I showed you guys that as well. That car was sitting on drag radials, and there's been kind of one common theme about the Banshee ever since they unveiled it to us. What has it been, like 8 months now? Whatever it's been, 7 months. It's been a while. And just the overwhelming theme is everybody absolutely hates the sound of it. It is a modified sound unlike anything we've ever heard. We'll jump into that. Guys, if you're brand new to my channel, please do me a big gigantic favor and hit subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell, guys. Only like 12% of you guys actually hit the notification bell, and it tells you when my new stuff comes out. And with that said, off we go.
T-minus 15 seconds.
So here's the thing. The deal with the Banshee is we all know that EVs have an incredible amount of performance.
You could drive a 300 horsepower BEV, walk out of it thinking it's 450 horsepower. I mean, the performance just is so much different.
We don't know how much this car is going to cost. We do know it will come in 9 different variants in terms of power levels. 6 of those will be from direct connection. So you'll have essentially 3 from the factory, kind of that low level, sort of that mid tier. And then you're going to have this Banshee. People are all over the map in terms of how much power it's going to actually have, but it will be very fast. There's no question. I don't know how fast. Will it be Tesla Plaid fast? Will it be even faster than that at that kind of upper echelon, that upper level? I kind of have my own thoughts on it. I put videos out about it. But one common theme is just about everybody says they hate the way that the Banshee sounds. Now, when I talked to the brass at Dodge, they basically said, look, we don't want to make this thing sound like what it is not, which is a V8, right? I mean, that has kind of been their bread and butter for forever, right?
We don't want to have a couple of speakers in the car piping in some fake sound. We said we need to, number one, come up with a sound that is new, fresh, and modern. We can't make a V8 sound. That would be wrong. That would be like calling an electric car, a traditional ICE engine. Not that that's not been done. But we didn't want to have that sound. We want to have something new, fresh, modern, something very much in the electrical space, which is, quite frankly, why we call it the Banshee, because it's got that screaming wail of a Banshee.
Decades and decades, it has always been about the Hemi and the V8, that tire shredding power, all the muscle, all that kind of stuff. Now here we are in the electric age, and they don't want it to sound like a V8. They wanted it to sound distinctive. They wanted it to sound unique. And they put an actual exhaust on an EV, the Fradsonic, which actually forces air through a kind of a system of pipes and things like that. And it produces a pretty loud sound, a very loud sound, actually. And that's one of the things that Tim Kuniskis, the CEO of Dodge, talked about at length is, yes, it makes a unique sound. Yes, it is really loud. They're extremely proud of the sound that it makes. But the other thing was, look, we're not done with the sound. It may take some tuning. And
by the way, the sound's not done. I mean, we're still working on the sound. We've got plenty of time to keep tuning it and tweaking it. But one of the things that was critical to us was to tie back some kind of an emotional connection to today's car. So when you listen to the car, when you hear the high-pitched scream, it's very polarizing on purpose.
And everybody under the sun, I saw all the comments, guys. I put out all the videos on this, and everybody was like, look, we hate the sound of that. What the hell is that? Is that somebody stepping on a cat's tail? Is that a transformer sneezing? Everybody said it sounded like from the movie The Wraith with Charlie Sheen back in the day. Regardless, everybody hated it. So Dodge has been listening, and apparently they've made some tweaks. Now, I want to go ahead and play you a quick clip from the Chicago Auto Show. A couple of people actually caught the new sound of the Banshee, this tweaked, modified sound, and it actually does sound a lot more like a muscle car, or you would expect a V8 to sound. Yes, it's still being pushed through that Fradsonic chamber thing that they have. They won't release a lot of information on that. We just know it's kind of a first of its kind, especially for an EV. An EV to have exhaust is kind of a wild concept, but they did it. We do know the Banshee also has a 2-speed transmission, which is very unique, so you're going to feel that car actually shift, unlike any EV out there right now. So that is another unique thing. So what do you think about the sound of that? Is that an improvement? Did they make it worse? There's people are all over the map on this, like I said, and there's an awful lot of people out there that would say, look, it's an EV, so I hate it. EV equals hate. That's just how it is. That's how it's always going to be. And, you know, I get that to a degree. They refuse to change, all that stuff. That's fine. I'm kind of the other school where it's like, look, if it's fast and it's fun to drive, I'm going to give it a shot. And then once I have a chance to actually drive it, be behind the wheel for a little while, I'm going to kind of reserve judgment until that point. That's just how I am. And I have driven all sorts of stuff. You guys know me, but I would be interested just to see. But in terms of the sound of it, I actually like this new sound considerably better than the old sound. I call it the cat step, the stepping on the cattail sound. It was very different when I heard it in person. I think a lot of people put it out on social media, having not heard it in person, and it does sound a little different in person. I didn't hate the sound of it when I heard it in person, but I was kind of like, what is going on here? This new sound sounds a lot more burbly, and I actually put a video out about how Ford was working with Borla to make more of a muscly, beefy sound, and I actually thought it sounded pretty good when they showed that off at SEMA. And comparing that to what Dodge did, it was kind of like, oh, this is kind of night and day. But then this new sound that they put out, it doesn't sound exactly like a V8, but it does have a much more aggressive muscle car-ish sound. It's basically the same amount of decibels, but it has kind of a deeper, more throaty, more of a just muscly sound to it. So I actually like it considerably better. And I will let you guys decide what you actually think. Now, I do want to add a couple other little pieces to this. For those of you that think that Dodge just arbitrarily decided we were just going to go EV and we were just going to kick all the internal combustion guys to the side and they're just abandoning their whole consumer base and all that kind of stuff, I just want to put something out there. If you really think that Dodge is calling all of the shots, they're not. I mean, this is just me telling you guys straight up. Like, they have a European parent company now, right? So they are owned initially FCA, obviously, and now all of a sudden we have Stellantis. And if you really understand like the whole European market, they're much more into kind of the smaller, more progressive, the EVs, the hybrids. That just lends itself well to the European market. Smaller streets, everything's not quite as far apart. I mean, it's just a completely different market, right? And Dodge is kind of just a company all in itself, all about something entirely different, very American, the bigger cars, the big muscly, loud, just in your face type stuff. And it's kind of a weird sort of blend, a weird little merger, because I feel like Dodge really doesn't have a chance to be themselves.
We said from day one, we have a choice. When the whole industry transitions to electrification, I mean, it's not a choice. It's going to happen.
Believe me, guys, I've talked to the executives. They want to continue to make muscle cars just like they had, but they have to change. There are a lot of pressures coming down from organizations like the EPA. We know all the new laws coming out, all that kind of, that is not helping things. In addition to that, I know they want to save up EPA credits so they can continue to give us cool stuff, but then they have a European parent company, as I mentioned, that really is into making small, European style vehicles. And so Dodge is kind of caught in the middle a little bit here. So they're trying to do their best with what they have. That doesn't mean I'm just saying, hey, look, Dodge is the best ever. But I do respect those guys for kind of what they're trying to bring to the table. I do think they'll still have something cool for us at the end of 2023, at the end of this year. We're going to have to wait for an announcement on that. And the other thing is the Banshee. They still have some time to figure the exhaust out on that car. We know what those two lower power level base cars will be in terms of just how fast, or not how fast, but in terms of how much power they'll make. And based on the video they put out, we were able to figure out exactly how much power the two direct connection upgrades are going to be for each of those. We don't know anything on the Banshee in terms of horsepower. I have my guesses, I've told you guys, but we don't know pricing. We don't know any of that stuff. So we're going to have to kind of hang on. I don't think they're even going to release pricing probably until the later part of the summer. I'm guessing sometime in maybe late July or August. and we probably won't see production models of those until really late in this year if we're lucky. So they still have time, guys, and they are listening to us. That's the biggest thing. Dodge is listening to what we're saying. They're making adjustments, and they still have time to make additional tweaks. Just don't be one of those people that is absolutely so dead set on hating everything. You can't listen to anything. You can't at least have a unique opinion and give a little bit of feedback on it. That's just one of those things, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I'm losing my daylight. I just wanted to kind of give you that little bit of Dodge news on the Banshee for 2024. Some of you guys are really looking forward to that car. A lot of you guys hate it no matter what. It is what it is. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing the other tweaks that Dodge makes to it, but I really want to just get behind the wheel of this thing and see what it is really all about. I mean, full tilt mode, get to drive it, experience it, and then I will see if I either like it or hate it. That's just me. I would love to know what you guys think of this new sound that they're putting out there. Is it better? Is it worse? Hit those comments, guys. Let me know. Try and keep them as positive as you can, but I still value your opinion. I will catch you on the next one. So until then, Racer X.